Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe I cannot see because I've got the backlight dimmed because it should be about 12 o'clock, maybe 1. And for the last 2 days, I've taken double the amount of sleeping pills, but I'm still getting about 4 hours of sleep a night. I will try to go back to sleep this night so that I can get through tomorrow. Not tired, that's the unique thing, because this is a thinking period for me, and this is what happens. It's been about 2 weeks now. I have not had much sleep, but the thinking has been on the money. So, for those of you who have arbitration awards and you're worried about your tax credits, I'm about to give you something that's going to solve many of your problems for documenting the tax credits. I want you to pay attention because you're not going to hear this from anyone else. Why? Because nobody else is going to tell you this for free. Your arbitration award, many of you, well, I couldn't get a judge to do that, and the judge wouldn't give me, I don't know what else to do. Lord have mercy. I've never promised you that I would do the research for you. I only promised that it was lawful and viable. So here we go. You have an arbitration award the other party did not pay. Well, you don't understand. The award constitutes income. However, you never received the funds, so it's deferred income. But they still haven't paid. So it operates as a net operating loss. NOL, net operating loss. Well, if it operates as a net operating loss, and let's say your award was for $24 million. Well, that's income, but it's income not received, income not realized. So it operates as a loss. So you document it as income and you at the same time document it as loss. So the income is negative. You don't put it as a positive, you put it as a negative. That goes on your Schedule C if you're doing the 1040. The Schedule C makes it your sole proprietorship. You're following me thus far? So, because it operates as a net operating loss and it's a negative, you also must understand it also operates as a credit when you did the 1099-C. You following? Now, hold on now. The credit is also a negative. How is the credit a negative? Because those are credits you're receiving from the government for forgiving the monetary portion of that debt. So the credit is also a negative, and the two negatives will offset each other. But when it goes on your paperwork, the income received, pay attention, goes in as a positive. The net operating loss goes in as a negative. The credits go in as a negative. You'll have to talk and do the adjustment with a tax professional. But the net operating loss is your best friend, and the tax credits by doing your 1099-C is also your best friend. Yes, you're going to owe taxes, but this does an offset of the taxes. I hope some of you understand. Many of you have been trying to figure this out and you've been running into problems because you haven't been thinking about it. Here's the other thing you should know. There is something known as a special purpose vehicle. So many of you have received a special purpose vehicle. What is a special purpose vehicle? Well, it is something for you to put the credits in, transfer the credits to, place the credits in, so that you can then convert it by making it into something such as a bond and collateralizing the bond with the credits. It's called a special purpose vehicle, or SPV. A trust is such a special purpose vehicle. The banks do this all the time. When the banks, pay attention, do mortgage backed securities, they're taking that junk and they're placing it in a special purpose vehicle, a trust, and they're monetizing it. you all need to pay attention. Some of you are going to be doing a lot more thinking now. Some of you, this is completely above and beyond and over your head. So, we're going to be doing a program at SATCOM. It's not going to be cheap because there's a lot of work. If you want us to create the special purpose vehicle for you to take your promissory notes and place them in, then we're going to start that program more than likely somewhere around December. Okay? For now, as of today, starting today, we're going all. No, as of today, we are no longer including the tax program in the Fourth Amendment Securing One's Property program. As of today, we were not going to include it after we had the promotion, but we decided to include it after we had the promotion up until today. So if you had not gotten in that program by today, the tax part isn't included. For those of you who did get in, please understand you have more paperwork coming your way. Now you'll be receiving communication regarding the collateral on your vehicles. Please understand, take a look at that document and see that this collateralizing your automobile covers 3 different things, including protecting you. Let's say if there's an arrest, it covers you up to $25,000 in any bail somebody's demanding of you. It also, pay attention, covers you up to $25,000 in liability if there is an accident with your vehicle. When you get the document, you're going to have to read it because it explains everything in the document dealing with the securitization and collateralizing of your vehicle. Pay attention. It also gives you the right to sue the DMV for not providing you the original title to your vehicle. That's for the Fourth Amendment program. That's what that program does. That's part of what it does, plus the trust. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the only program I've come to know of in the time that I've been existing on this planet dealing with trusts. This is the only trust that allows you to be the grantor and the beneficiary. Excuse me, not the grantor and the beneficiary, the trustee and the beneficiary, where you control what happens to your property, that you take on a dual capacity, dual role, where you control your property, not the trust itself. Now, the trust and the grantor, the Eon Foundation, being the law of the trust, it specifies that you have that control. Read over the trust. Those of you who are part of the Fourth Amendment program, doesn't matter if people copy our trust. That's that's not the trust. That is the micro trust. It is a subset trust. Subset. That's right. It's not the actual trust. That is a micro trust. Because you are the trustee, it allows you, because it designs what the benefits are for that segment. See, each micro trust has its own set of properties, yours. Each micro trust has its own set of properties, your property. Each one of your micro trusts are placed in the main trust. No one will ever see the main trust. You will never see it. It's not your business. It's a blind trust. It's not too blind, but it is a blind trust. Was established some years ago. This has been a plan for quite some time. So, like I said, a lot of thinking. I've been watching the TV series Billions, and that Michael Axelrod character, it's a shame because it seems like they were trying to model a TV series about someone like me, which is amazing. I did not think they would actually ever get it. But the fact that they talk about him being a genius and it's the way he thinks and blah, 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 exactly. Again, that's why 4 hours of sleep a night. I am not tired, have not been tired. I just know that I need to get some rest because if I don't, eventually I'm going to have a crash. And I can't afford to have no crashes. All right. I don't want to give you guys much more information because I know some of you are going to realize how much I've just given just in this one little conversation. Then others of you are going to be like, oh man, I really don't get it. And for those of you who don't get it, yes, we are going to be starting up that program. Like I said, it's not going to be cheap because it's going to be a lot of work. We will do the paperwork. You're going to be required for filing it. We will assist at a fee for responding to any inquiries regarding your filing. Because remember, we're doing this by the end of the year, so your filing will be to the point to where when you do file, you'll be able to do your adding in the amount, the exact amount. You cannot exaggerate, dream and imaginate. Okay, you cannot exaggerate the amounts. If you do, you're on your own. If you change the amounts we put in, the sections we put in, you're on your own. Because many of you all think you're smarter. You want to be adding in all that junk you be hearing on YouTube. I've been hearing so many people say so much stuff that it's junk that there's no basis for. I don't understand why they do it, but they've done it, and it's irritating. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I was going to go ahead and I was going to try to go to sleep again. I knew I shouldn't have stayed up, but oh well. I'm going to try to go back to sleep, and ta-da! I said I was going to do this video how many months ago? About 3 days ago, and finally getting it done. All right, y'all have a good day. I do need to let you guys know. The reason why there haven't been any videos, I had to switch computers. I was having a Mac. We spent $2,500 on the Mac. Well, let me let you know about the Mac. In my opinion, Macs are a piece of junk, just like PCs. They're the same pieces of junk. The Mac couldn't handle my multitasking, even though it was supposedly better quality than the PC I had. So I went and got a Hewlett Packard PC that had 16 megabytes of RAM and blah, 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 and a 1 terabyte SDD hard drive and all of that wonderful stuff. And I got that piece of junk, and I noticed that it was a piece of junk. So I sent that back to him, and I got 32 megabytes of RAM. I went and bought an extra SDD 4 terabyte hard drive. But the 4 terabyte hard drive, I had to program Windows on that drive and didn't have the drivers for the computer. So it took me 2 days to find the drivers. Got the drivers, the computer installed so many programs, and all of a sudden something went wrong with the installation. So I had to do it all over again. Another day and a half. 5 days it took me to program this computer. So that's why you haven't seen any videos. However, everything is working fine. I placed Windows on the same computer, 4 terabyte hard drive, twice. I partitioned the hard drive. One side's got 800 gigabytes, and the other one has 2 point blah, blah, blah terabytes, which gives me my 4 terabyte hard drive on that computer. Plus there are 5454. 18 more terabytes on the same hard drive, giving me 20 terabytes on the same hard drive, same computer. That's what I do. So that my workhorse, which it is my workhorse, and it is able to handle it. And so, ta-da! I got to put my antivirus back on there because I took it off yesterday, but I got to add it back in the morning. So that's all that's been going on. That's why you haven't heard from me. But like I said, a lot of thinking during all of that process, because everything's been down. I've been able to do nothing but thinking. Let's give you the final little tidbit that we're getting ready to do. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are having problems filing a lawsuit, we're going to give you a suggestion. Sue the state, sue the county in small claims court. Sue them in their official capacity. But here's the thing, they have certain restrictions in those courts, but you can still sue the state. But don't sue the state directly. No, sue their risk management. Who's risk management? That's their insurance company. Sue the risk management. Go after their bond. Sue the bond company by suing the individual and making sure you document that you're suing their bond. Every public official must take an oath to the Constitution. They must be bonded. If they don't have an actual bond, that means they're bonded by the county or the city or the state through their risk management department. Do your research. Now, for the federal government, you do the same thing. You sue them in small claims court. Why small claims court? Because you pay less for filing. Okay, you can do. Remember, they have their limit as to how much you can sue. Ladies and gentlemen, when those idiots, because the federal attorneys don't want to go to small claims court, and if your small claims court allows you to have a jury trial, that's what you want to ask for. The reason why you do this is because they're going to do a notice of removal to federal court, where it costs $500 to file your document. This is how you save a couple of $100, because the moment they move it to federal court, you do an automatic amended complaint, and you amend the amount of the complaint. Now you can make it millions if you choose once it gets to federal court. And guess what? If they try to send it back to state court, they can't, because you just amended the complaint. So now they can't send it back to state court, which now gives you the right to bring the complaint again in state court if you choose, because now they can't remove it. Because they can't combine it, they can't make it two of the same actions, because you're doing one on the state level and the federal level. Just understand, like I said, a lot of thinking going on. Let's not get to the point where I'm getting ready to go after these ignorant excuse me. Whew, Lord, he told you a lot's on my mind, y'all. Going after them for impersonating public officials. Article 6, Clause 3 says that all of these elected officials, whether they're the state legislature, federal legislature, state judge, or federal judge, they all take an oath of office. Well, here's the thing. We have proof of their EIN numbers for the state, for the judicial council, for the administrative office of the court. Well, we have, when we take in the comprehensive annual financial report, thanks Clint Richardson, with the notes, references, term definitions, and ledgers, it proves that they are private corporations. Well, you cannot work for a private corporation and be a judge at the same time. You cannot work for a private corporation and be a police officer at the same time. Government can never be private. And since they all have private EIN numbers showing private corporation, that means they're all in violation of their oath of office, and they're impersonating a public official. If they're impersonating a public official, file your complaint with the Attorney General's office, both on the state level and on the federal level. You must file the complaint. You can also file a complaint with the police department. We're getting ready to create the complaint for you guys. You file your complaint of impersonating a public official under misprision of felony, and once you do that, now you can sue them, and I'm telling you, go to small claims court and sue the individual. Now you can sue them in their official capacity and their personal capacity for impersonating a public official, and they have no immunity. Ta-da! Like I said, there is so much going on in this noggin of mine, and just wanted to put this on the record. This is where I'm headed. I ain't got no time. I'm tired of playing games with these idiots. All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I told you it's the year of the lawsuit. I told y'all that. Y'all need to understand. And it's going to carry on in the next year, part B. All right. Take care of yourselves. Yeah, this is fairly all right. I'm out of here, y'all. Gotta go.